It is so very frustrating to see a show plummet in quality, all the while the positives and the good ideas are still readily visible. I recently had this experience with Scum's Wish, a 12-episode romantic melodrama which sets itself up to avoid some of the trappings of the genre, only to squander it all in execution. I've enjoyed quite a few teen melodramas in my years consuming anime. Scum's Wish initially asserts itself as quite the different beast. We don't get the will they won't they so many romance anime struggle with. Mugi and Hana are not only exchanging saliva via a sloppy kiss, but removing articles of clothing all within the first episode. It's not a matter of will they, and more a matter of how will this relationship, where both parties are using each other as stand-ins for their respective crushes, damage them. I'm the type of person who finds himself in the entertainment I consume. With Scum's Wish, I relate to the overwhelming theme of selfishness. I do genuinely believe I have the ability to be a nice person. I think I am most of the time. However, I know how self-absorbed I can be if I don't catch myself. From time to time I see relationships, platonic or otherwise, people of any sort, as simply a means to an end. Knowing how easy it is for me to be an arrogant egomaniac is a terrifying prospect. Scum's Wish is filled with egomaniacs. Even when Hana admits to caring about Mugi or her friend Achan, there is still plenty of internal struggle where she sees how she's using these people as stepping stones to her ultimate goal of dating her childhood friend and now teacher Narumi. This whole setup of Hana being in love with her teacher Narumi and Mugi being in love with his former middle school tutor and now high school music teacher Akane is good stuff. The explicitness of the content and the melancholy themes as two young kids in a damaging relationship reminds me a whole lot of Inio Asano's A Girl on the Shore. Like everything I've read of Asano's, I adore the manga, and Scum's Wish potential had me quite excited when I checked it out as the first two episodes were airing. A Girl on the Shore, Scum's Wish is most certainly not. Scum's Wish is an anime so impressed by all of its good ideas that it feels the need to feature every single goddamn one in a breakneck fashion. This all became painfully obvious to me in the third episode. After the ending of the second, where Achan has mounted and proceeded to kiss her friend Hana, which is the first time she's ever openly admitted to being gay or having feelings for Hana, the plot begins to whip around. The flashbacks and flash forwards don't help this matter. Next thing I know, the angry little lolly from episode 2 who had played her hand as Mugi's childhood friend and being thoroughly jealous of Hana for her relationship with him, she pops back up in a brief moment. Mostly just to remind us that she exists, though she won't be having any real impact for the foreseeable future. We then jump into Mugi and Hana hooking up and Hana expressing that she wants to try and love Mugi. Then we rapidly move on to the target of Mugi's affection, the teacher Akane. While out one night, Mugi and Hana run into Akane being awfully friendly with some guy. Akane asks Hana to keep this a secret. Hana is obviously upset because Akane, while not in an outright relationship with Narumi, they're clearly on the path to being there. Turns out, Akane is the type of person who uses men to inflate her own ego and then tosses them aside when she's gotten all she can out of them. Every episode ends on some sort of twist or revelation, and several matters that an entire episode could be dedicated to crop up in between. Many of these are compelling possible plots, but because so many are jammed together, we're left with little time to appreciate any of them for a satisfying amount of time. Shocking events are tossed out like candy on Halloween and are just as rapidly consumed and disregarded. This is why I find Scum's Wish so utterly frustrating. There is so much I enjoy, but the creators seemingly have never heard of the phrase of kill your darlings. Not pussyfooting about with the most unrealistically prude teens? Cool. Akane is the main villain who gets off both literally and figuratively to the idea of manipulating others and breaking people's hearts? Cool. Hana being torn apart by not being with the one she loves and filling that void with what starts off as purely a hookup? Cool. Even the lowly shithead who I didn't enjoy one bit when she first cropped up has a line I really like. While talking with Hana, she brings up how love often blinds us, that we build up our crushes as perfect beings, which they will never live up to. That it's also selfish to create a version of them that only suits our needs and ignores theirs. We see this with Mugi when he and Hana encounter Akane out with a man other than Narumi. Mugi says afterwards to Hana that they're just friends, but during he says nothing and is visibly uncomfortable. He doesn't want to admit that the girl he loves is not just sleeping around, but doing so in a way that hurts others. But again, we're given so little time to appreciate any of this before the show moves on to the next big plot point. Even in its aesthetics, it has plenty of novel ideas, but the usage of them is so sporadic. The haze around the edge of the frame during flashbacks to Hana's younger days where she still had hope of being with Narumi signals halcyon days. The shift to light novel cover visuals when Hana and Mugi are fooling around and fantasizing the other is their crush shows a more beautiful existence than reality. I may only have one big issue with Scum's Wish, but it's an utterly debilitating one. So much potential, so many cool ideas, just too many for one show. Maybe a more talented studio could craft them all together, but unfortunately, that's not the case here. I mentioned earlier how I was reminded of A Girl on the Shore. Asano's work often has very detailed sex scenes. A Girl on the Shore is no different, and it shares Scum's Wish's setup of two damaged teens using each other. But where Scum's Wish inserts a million different plot lines, A Girl on the Shore almost exclusively focuses on the two main characters. I did not expect something on the same level of quality as my favorite manga creator, but I was hoping Scum's Wish could be an anime that would help push the industry in a direction similar to Asano's. I'm not even demanding everything be filled with mature sexual content or avoid the will they won't they approach. I enjoy plenty of anime that are the antithesis to this style, such as Baby Steps, Toradora, and the Kawaii Complex. There are better shows that may not have the same level of mature content, but put the two main characters into a relationship right away as Scum's Wish does, Karikano and Danaganani being two such examples. Oddly enough, while watching Scum's Wish in its attempt to jam-pack a half-hour block show with as much writing as you would expect from an hour block, I wasn't immediately reminded of an anime. No, it was a live-action American drama that popped into my head. Friday Night Lights, a teen drama about a high school in Texas where football is second only to Jesus. It too forces so many different threads and big shocking twists in an attempt to distract the audience from the fact that there isn't much, if any, substance. Now, Scum's Wish has more that outright appeals to me than the mostly abysmal Friday Night Lights, but that doesn't stop me from dropping it. It isn't terrible, just the epitome of a show that while I'm watching, I can't help but think about all the better ways I could be spending my time. As always, like, subscribe, all that nonsense, it is very much appreciated. I do intend to be getting out more videos than I have in the past, and be sure to check out my other work.